It's so interesting that I'm trying to speak to an audience, and I don't really have an audience. I'm trying to build a platform. I don't have anyone to piggyback off of their platform and gain my own. But then, even when you think about that, you wouldn't want to piggyback off of somebody else's platform to build your own because you actually want your audience to be people that are there for what you have to talk about, what you have to share. Because I really just want to talk to people. Like, I love people, I love talking to people. I believe that I can talk to a lot of people through the internet, and it seems like one of those things that I've been so scared of doing and trying to make a thing. Like, why should I try to go for my own audience? Why should I share my thoughts and try to build a platform when, I'm so scared? Like, why face your fears when people might think something of you, or you might not get the results that you were even hoping for? Because I know a lot of people from my childhood, my high school, my middle, like whatever it is, like there's a lot of people who knew me before I knew myself, and those people may not know who I really am or who I always was but didn't feel comfortable being. And now I'm not really in the mood to announce that I'm changing or what I'm doing. It's like I just want to do me when I want to do me. Like I'm sitting here in the backyard and just taking it all in sober because I typically am under the influence, and that's something that I've definitely struggled with, you know, figuring out what to do when I'm not doing that because I'm looking to do something to stimulate myself. I'm in the same childhood home that, 7-year-old me was in. It's like it's so hard to believe that this was the same house I was a child in at a point. And as a child, I try to figure, like, we all try to figure out things to do to keep us entertained. Luckily, I had my neighbors and siblings. We all did stuff together. We were able to have fun and stay entertained. But as soon as middle school, high school, all that started to come along, we all started getting pulled into our own individual interests and activities. And, years later, by the time it's all said and done, like, neighbors move, we all have our own interests and jobs. Like, it's not childhood anymore. So that childhood community I'm looking for, like, I had community, more community as a child than I do now. And that's not to say that I don't have friends now, but it's like we don't get to gather and just be as often as we once did. And that is something that I think a lot of adults struggle with, the transition from childhood friendship to adult friendship, and really just the transition from childhood to adulthood, especially in today's age where it's very hard for us to afford the cost of living and really do things on our own. But seeing what's going on around the world, a lot of people don't have any view outside of America. Like there is a whole world outside of us. And when you expand your view to have a world view, you can see some of the things going on around the world and wonder what can we do here? What's going on here? Cuz Gen Z just led a revolution in Nepal. Like the same generation I'm a part of, the same generation that has the same people I know. Like we have people doing so much more. Like I am an American and I am also Haitian. And I wish that my fellow Americans understood what it's like to not only be from here, to not only think about this place. Because when I think of where I'm from, a lot of those people have far less access to the things we do here. And I appreciate this world and what we have in America. And I also recognize the cost that it puts on other places in the world. And it just seems that everyone's done and tired with us. We don't realize that here, like we're still involved in our own American shit here, but around the world, people are already starting to decide to move on without us. And we still have people's parents, grandparents, and everything lying to them. Like, I never fully understood or believed in the college route because I wanted to go make money. I've always wanted to make money. I've always known that we need more money. And I've always known that business can take me there, can help me get more money. But I thought I had to go to school to learn how to do business. I went to school for entrepreneurship and marketing. I only stayed a year. I left because I believed I could become a full time crypto trader, which is not what I do to this day. And it really was an embarrassing thing at the time when I left and what I was leaving for. Like, I wanted to do YouTube, I wanted to create content and make money doing that, but it just seemed like, no, no, that's not the way you can make money. And honestly, why do people care so much about how you make money? Like, if you are doing awful things to make money, that's one thing. But even for sex workers making money on OnlyFans and Fansly and all these other platforms that people can purchase their content, it's like it's real. I've done it. It's a different way of consuming content for sure, but it's like if I can consume that content, how can I judge the content myself? Like, I just don't want to be a hypocrite anymore. And to be a hypocrite would be to be afraid of what I have to say. Like, I believe people should speak their minds, yet I'm too afraid to speak mine. That doesn't make sense. So I tried to exercise my voice and speak my mind as often as possible today. I decided I'm just going to sit here and make this video because I want to do more like this. I love my job and what I do, and I believe that it's it's like a positive feedback loop with what happens with my job, with what happens in my personal life, what happens in my, digital social life, whatever. It can all feed into each other and have positive impacts on me. So I've decided to just stop running away from what I know I want to do. I want to share my thoughts and beliefs with the world. And I believe that we can do a lot more than what we're doing. Like, I don't think that YouTube should be anyone's full-time job or anything. It's like YouTube is not a job. TikTok is not a job. Instagram is not a job. Like, none of those things are jobs. Making content that you post on those platforms is not a job. Like, it's it's like, or what I assume or feel a job is doing something that you don't enjoy for money. Like, people don't necessarily enjoy the content they're making, but will do it for money. And I don't want to do that. Like, I want to make content, share it. If it's well received, cool. If not, at least I made it and shared it. I'm not the greatest artist. I'm not very good at painting or drawing. I'm not good at making music, anything like that. I've not really applied myself in those things because it's not something I want to do just for the purpose of making money. If I enjoy those things and want to share it, that's one thing. But I have a lot more thoughts and ideas that can be shared through this medium that will get to a lot of people. So I think that there is this perception of what you need to be, what you can be, what you need to do to be a creator, this word that we've made in our society, this creator economy, attention economy, whatever it is. Like, we eventually get back to real life. You are a person, and that means you can be so much more than just the creator. But if you want to be that as well, be that. But I think this new way of communicating to each other, it's so fascinating to me. When you really think of the internet, how long it's been around, like, people my age weren't around for when the internet was coming up. Like, we just already were into it. So to understand how a lot of things became and got regulated, and being on the side of that in the space I'm in now with the hemp industry, like, there's a lot of unregulation that comes before regulation, and a lot of the times people that grow up with regulation don't realize what it took for regulation to become a thing. And I just think that we can do more. We can learn more. We can decide to use these platforms for what we really want them to be instead of just these dopamine devices like that you're just going to for an extra hit. And yeah, like people will think you just like hearing yourself talk. But it's like, damn, can I not have an opinion that I can share with the world? Can I not be well perceived by others? Is that something I'm not allowed to have? I don't believe so. So I'm just here to share my thoughts and opinions, and I hope you guys are here to share your thoughts and opinions as well.